Hey yo, Robert here from Radmic VPT and BodyFit Bootcamp Dumfries. What I wanted to run through with you today is to speak to you about why it doesn't take the brains of a rocket scientist to lose weight. And what I mean by that is this. Losing weight is based on emotion, not logic. And if I can give you an example. I don't have a degree, I don't have a master's degree, I don't have nothing that's in terms of how the academic world works. There's nothing there to say, if I went into employment, this guy has got these qualifications, so he can then marry up with these different jobs. I don't have any of that. However, what I do have is a little bit of passion for my chosen subject. So I read a lot, and I mean a lot, I read a lot. Not just books, but other references and what have you. I attend courses and workshops and seminars, and pretty much just put everything I've got into learning my trade so that I can understand it a little bit better and then pass it on to you guys. And the reason why I say that is because if I understand it and I'm not an academic type of person, it just goes to show that weight loss is not based on logic or brains or intellect. It's based on emotion. We're all, as human beings, we're all emotional creatures. We're not creatures of logic. We, in most cases, we will think emotionally first and then think logically after it. Because everything that we experience in our life, whether it's what somebody says to us or how somebody makes us feel, a circumstance or a situation we've ever been put in, it's we'll initially think emotionally about that subject first, or that happening, and then think logically about it. So when you want to lose weight, there's an emotion linked to that. When you want to eat the chocolate cake, there's an emotion linked to that. Obviously that term you've heard is emotional eating. It's like if somebody wants to, emotion can be linked to many different things. Some people choose road rage. Some people choose drugs, some people choose alcohol, some people choose emotional eating and the chocolate cake. We choose it through many different means, and it's important to understand what your triggers are. As usual in all my videos, you can hear my dogs running about in the background. They're going a bit crazy and having a fight because they're getting bored. I'm going to try and ignore them. Yeah, so everything's linked to an emotion, and specifically emotional eating. And this is why it's not linked to intellect, but more linked to emotion. It's the first thing you need to understand. If you forget anything in this whole video, just remember that it's emotion-based to losing weight, not intellect-based. You do not have to be clever. You do not need to understand human anatomy and physiology, or endocrinology, or hormonal balancing, or a number of other things. You don't need to understand all this stuff. You can kind of get little tidbits of them, but you don't really need to understand it. You simply need to know you got to move a little bit more. You need to eat healthy and keep away from the shit pretty much most of the time. You need to rest and recuperate for a set period of time, the right level of time, which we're going to speak about in another video. And you've got to try and de-stress your life if possible. And that's really the four main components of losing weight. Pretty simple, pretty simple. For some reason, people seem to overcomplicate it. And the reason I think that they seem to overcomplicate it is because they move into intellect mode. It's nothing to do with intellect. You do not need to be intelligent. As long as you understand, for example, let's say if you have an argument with your partner and you reach for the chocolate bar, there's obviously an emotion linked to that somewhere. For me, if me and my partner ever have an argument, me and my wife, I tend to go a drive out in the car because it's just my little escape. It's where I go and just diffuse the situation instead of having a full-blown argument. I just like to get away from it, let things calm down a little bit, and then come back and we can talk logically about it. Many people have different escapes. Some people will choose the bottle of wine. Some people will choose the crisps. Some people will choose the alcohol. Some people, which is wine of course. Some people will choose the chocolate. Some people will have road rage and drug abuse and smoking and God knows what else. There's many different forms of it. But as soon as you recognise what the trigger is, you can learn how to control it, and you can replace that trigger with something different. The reason a lot of people don't get to where they want to go is because they don't realise that there's a trigger, there's something there that's staring them in the face and saying, okay, listen, you're feeling emotional, this is why you're doing this. There's plenty of signs, but yet you do nothing about it. So now you know why you eat emotionally, or at least the triggers for it, something that you can do about it. I want to hear back from your comments and what it is that makes you emotionally eat. Specifically, what it is that you emotionally eat: chocolate, wine, whatever. Do you go drive in the car just like me to get away from things? I want to hear back from you. Let me know your feedback. That's it. Speak to you all soon. Bye.